Hey everyone, I am just suddenly dropping in. I'm pretty tired, but I just had to do some of this just for a brief moment so I can kind of diary it. And then I'll return to it later on. We were in Korea, then Florida, just got back from Florida. We're on our way to Leavenworth this weekend. Yay! And then we're back in Yakima, going to be doing some meetings that weekend, which is not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. Anyhow, hey Becky, good to see you. We'll have to connect here, maybe before I leave. We had it on Friday. But some crazy stuff going on. And I had to just talk about it for about 10, 15 minutes. And because I know a lot of you, when you hear this, like you're carrying this on the inside of you. And if you've been kind of following some things that has been going on, just wild stuff has been happening. But one of the things I've been talking about over the course of October how God has taken us out of theory into reality. And meaning that when you have a theory about something, you have like a set of beliefs or principles that might not be proven yet. But let me take that a little further. A lot of times you're carrying like dreams, visions, certain things in your heart, things you believe that God has been showing you, revealing to you, but you haven't really seen it manifest to the level that you have been hoping and believing that it is going to. Well, something has happened in the spirit. I believe like a veil, a barrier has been broken. That's really the only way I know how to describe it. And I believe it's related to the perseverance, the endurance of God's people as you're just moving into these places in the spirit. And so I want to talk a little bit about that because the big thing that's happening is you're not going to live in theory anymore. You're coming into reality, and some of this stuff has been happening. If you haven't watched some of the videos over the last few weeks, even the latest one, while I was in Florida, oh my gosh, you need to check it out because literally, and I know this sounds like I'm boasting, but it was off the charts. Just some things that have been happening, some revelation that's been coming forth. But we're in a big way coming out of theory into reality. So a huge shift is about ready to take place in your life. And we have been seeing it, sensing it, knowing it. And one of the demonstrations, and I'm not going to repeat myself because you can go to our former videos, but was when earlier last month or what is this, November? Wow, mid-October, when the two stars collided, they had all this theory, Einstein's theory, about how all of the certain activity worked, and then it went from being theory to reality. And prior to that, the Lord was saying, get ready because you're going from theory to reality. And so all this crazy stuff has happened. So I titled this like, no way. What have astronomers discovered now? Because believe it or not, this really pertains to you. And I get it. Some people have trouble relating to me because I'm kind of out there. And but I'm getting better at articulating what it is that God has put in my heart, and I believe in many of your hearts as well, in the sense of where you're going, things that are opening up to you, and the areas of life that you're shifting into in a very powerful way. And when I was just in Sanford, Florida, this past week at Fire Glory Church with David and Rhonda Raymer, and we just had an awesome time. And by the way, thank you for those of you who you came from afar and to attend these meetings. And so it was so great to see you. And I just thank you for being there, just kind of, supporting everybody and what's going on. So anyhow, I started out the meeting like I normally have been starting these meetings over the whole course of October and maybe a little bit in September, but inviting creation to respond to the glory of God that is in us. And since I've been doing that, some things have escalated, like intense responses. And I'm not going to go back again. You need to go back and look at the videos, and we're listening to the videos at just all the different things that have been going on. So here I am. I'm in Florida. I'm like, nope, I'm going to start this out again, and we're just going to invite creation to respond to the glory that is in us. And meaning that might be something on earth, something in space that is historic. Now, I always use the word historic. So we're inviting creation to respond in an historic way. So, that narrows it down, right? So that if something happens, it will happen on an historic level, responding to the manifestation. In fact, as I'm moving into this, I just want to prophetically speak. Some of you that will be listening to this video. You are, I believe that God is bringing you into an historic period of your life where you literally have within you the ability to make history. And I just want to stir that up in you. And you might think, yeah, but I'm just this or all of these things. I just feel like that God has already put within you this treasure that is in you is historic. So I don't want you to ever allow the enemy to depreciate the treasure that is in your heart. That means it has the ability to impact people, cities, states, even nations on a historic level. And I feel like that it's important that we lean into this understanding, because what it does is it positions you more as a son and daughter of God. That is huge. That is massive, because you have his DNA inside of you. And so there are exponential things available to you to really just walk in a very powerful way. So I'm in this meeting, I'm leaning into this thing, and I have to be honest, I when I started doing this, I thought, wow, that's out there, man. People are already having a little struggle with some of my wildness, and just the things I talk about, but this is going to take it to the next level. But I'm loving every minute of it, and I'm seeing like some amazing, incredible things take place. So we lean into this area, and I speak about creation historically responding to the glory in us. But I say it like this. This means, we are expecting to encounter an historic event on earth or in the heavens above, either during our meeting times, at the very least, on the heels of our departure. Now, this conference time ended October 29th. It began October 25th. Let me see if that was a Friday. So it did Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And Sunday, I believe, was the 29th. And then Monday was the 30th. So it ended on the 29th. On October 30th, this major broadcast came over Fox News. And it said, astronomers have just discovered an historic thing in space. And so they discovered it on the 30th, announced it on the 31st. And this is the report. It says, so Fox News reported this. Astronomers have discovered a planet the size of Jupiter orbiting a star that is only half the size of the sun. And then it says, this is an historic discovery. And then it goes on to say, it's a celestial phenomenon that contradicts theories of planet formation. Now remember, the word that the Lord has given to me, I'm taking you beyond theory into reality. Now this isn't the first thing that has been happening. God has literally been breaking the realm of theory and bringing us into the manifestation, the revelation of reality. And then it goes on to say, the discovery contradicts theory, there it is again, contradicts theory that a star so small could form a planet so large. Now there's much more to this, but I'm not going to get into all of the science. You can Google it, look, search it out yourself. All I'm saying is that as we have been leaning into this, using words like theory, historic, events, so forth and so on. They had literally been just like I'm telling you, either happening during the event, like they did in Seoul, Korea, and then Seattle, and then I can't think back far enough, and then again in Florida, and I always say it either in the event or on the hills. Well, this was like the day after, so the day after Sunday. So it was literally on the heels of this meeting. So I was thinking about this, the passage of Scripture in Romans where the last part of it says, all creation longs for the manifestation of the sons of God. But I was thinking of another passage where it talks about that all creation reveals the attributes of God. And what I started realizing is that this is not just talking about creation, just creation like, the trees and the stars above and all of those types of surroundings and the earth, everything was made. But it's talking about you. All creation reveals the attributes of God. So these attributes include the sons of God. I believe that a barrier has been broken and the attributes of God that are in you are about ready to be revealed exponentially. Literally just going to blow things out of proportion. Things that look limited, things that look like they were confined, like had you confined or whatever. The attributes of God are about ready to explode right out of you. So there is first an imploding and then an exploding that begins to take place. So I'm looking for this. I'm looking for this unusual manifestation, this revelation of the sons of God appearing on the earth in a way that we've never seen before. And the result will be that there will be greater activity. Now I realize there's all of this intense climate that is going on in the meantime, and we're going to be positioning ourselves in a place of spiritual authority that we're going to see things afar off, not just like out there in space or whatever's going on, but we're going to see things afar off, and we're going to be able to literally head them off at the pass. Just like this horrendous thing that just happened in New York City, going on behind the scenes. I've been speaking about awareness, how we're coming into a kingdom awareness where we'll be able to see things in advance, and you'll be able to move in that time, ahead of time, and head it off at the pass. That is the pathways of God that has been afforded to you, to many other people across the world right now. We're coming into, and again, I know people struggle with this because they see all of this havoc going on, but we're coming into this revelation, this manifestation of the days of Solomon, where we begin to operate in the rest of God, manifesting the peace of God. As the passage in the Bible says that blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. And of course, that's both male and female, sons and daughters of God. And so I've been saying this for a couple of years, that you are part of a peaceful generation. In other words, you are going to walk in such a sphere of authority, no longer allowing circumstances to rule and dictate your life. You're going to move in the rest of God, which is an authoritative realm that will be where you'll be able to release the peace of God, therefore causing an alignment to come upon the earth as it is in heaven. This is the heavenly revelation, manifestation that God is wanting to release through his children now, through the people of God in this time. And God is affording us access, the ability to see something. As I've been leading into these meetings, I can see activities that are happening in the cosmos, in space, and talk about them in advance. Not fully understanding it, but no, wait a minute, something has already happened, it hasn't come into view, but that's what it means to be prophetic. So we can do it at those levels. Why can't we do it at every level, where there are all kinds of things that are going on in the earth, and where we see them afar off and we head them off at the pass? This was the authority that prophets of old had access to when they would come before kings and they would speak to them about the works of the enemy, the plans of the enemy that were designed against them, and they would literally cause an interference and a divine disruption to take place. I'm telling you, this is a realm that is inside of you. And this is a major disrupted period, not against your life, but against the works of the enemy. And right now, the enemy's trying to throw everything and anything he can, but we're getting wiser. We're coming out of spiritual warfare, and I've been saying this for a long time, coming out of an ancient spiritual warfare, a conflicted mindset, into the wisdom, into the peace of God, to where we will be able to operate and present solutions and insight at a level that the world has never seen. And it's beginning to rise up right now. So I just want to encourage you that you're coming out of theory and you're coming into reality. The things that you have been dreaming about, the things you've been thinking about that seem outlandish. Remember, I told you my experience with Outlander. And Outlander made me aware that he's part of an outlandish activity that is going on in the earth. And he's ready to back you up. And so you're coming into a very outlandish time in your life where you're going to manifest the love of God, the glory of God, the peace of God, the mind of God. So let the peace of God that surpasses all understanding guard your heart and mind in Him. This is the hour that we're living in, and I'm so extremely excited about it. Now, I don't have time to go into more. There's so much of this, and but I'm just kind of adding the pieces as I go. But we're getting ready to leave. See, tomorrow's Thursday, so the next day, but I couldn't leave without at least taking the time to just kind of share with you some things that are going on. But the lid's about ready to be lifted off. I've been taking notes. Oh man, I have so many crazy things to share with you. In fact, we're going to be doing a school thing. We're going to keep you posted. And because it is worthy of having a school over to hopefully help you to advance into this place that is already in you, that you're already leaning into, that will enable you to operate at a level of sonship, I believe, that you never operated before. And so even when it comes to love, we're coming out of the theory of love into the reality of love. And that is the foundation of everything that is being established right now in this time and season. Okay, so I got my glasses on, but this light's a little bit blurry, so I just pass this on, share it if you will. And anyhow, love you guys. Thank you for dropping in. And yeah, share. So you are amazing, and I'll see you later. Bye.